Rob, the credit guy here. Listen, I have a very important topic. We're talking about low ticket credit repair versus high ticket credit repair. Because the credit repair industry is saturated with people, let's be real, who don't know what the hell they're doing and they're messing up the industry. And then they're not making any money. And a lot of people are teaching this method. So today we're going to use numbers versus emotion, meaning we're going to take the emotion out of it and we're just going to go based off of numbers, meaning facts. So let's break it down. Also, I got a special treat for you guys. At the very end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the exact formula so you can break down your numbers and find out if you're profitable, right? If you're in the green or if you're in the red. That's where you don't want to be. All right, let's dive right into it. All right. First thing, I know there's a lot of people that are gonna dive into the comments and be like, what about the TSR rule? You can't charge up front, blah, blah, blah. Listen, be quiet with the nonsense. Let's break it down. Again, let's take the emotion out of it. Let's talk about facts. Okay. I've been doing credit repair for this year is 16 years. Okay. I have taught over 400, 500 CROs over the last couple of years how to scale their business to 50,000, 100,000 a month. So let's talk about the TSR rule. Again, let's talk about facts. The telemarketing sales rule, TSR, was created to protect consumers from abusive, misleading, or fraudulent sales practices happening over the phone. Let me repeat that. Abusive, misleading, or fraudulent sales practices. Are you doing any of the above? If you're doing any of the above in any industry, you should get in trouble. I mean, it's just, it is what it is, right? Now, this law was created back in the 90s, 1993 to be exact. A lot of people think that this is a new law that just happened because they saw something on Instagram or Facebook where a company or individual got sued. And now they think it's like, oh my God, this is popping up out of nowhere. Wrong. Do your homework, do your research, stop relying on Instagram and Facebook to be your news source, okay? Do your own due diligence. It's important. This is your industry. This is how you make your money, how you feed your family. So I recommend you stop relying on Instagram and Facebook. You know what? Don't even listen to me. Like, go out and do your due diligence and get the facts, okay? But I'm here to bring you the facts to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So again, this rule was created back in the 90s. And it says telemarketing scams were exploding and people were getting, first of all, let me pause right there. It's not just the scams back then. I think that there's even more scams now because of all the technology that we got going on. So scamming is definitely at its high, in my opinion. So, all right, number one, people were tricked into buying services that didn't exist. Doesn't that sound, they're talking about the 90s. I'm talking about today. That sounds like things that are happening right now, right? Because if you have done credit repair for any length of time, you have had a client tell you, hey, I hired this other company. I paid them 1,000, 500, 1,500, 2,000, whatever the number is. And then they ghosted me. I called them back. The phone was disconnected. All of these different scenarios, I paid them and nothing happened. My credit is actually worse now, right? So they tricked the buyer into services that just didn't exist. They didn't do what they promised. Number two, they charged up front for work that was never done. Do I have to explain any more, right? Do not promise people that you're going to fix their credit, but you don't know what the hell you're doing. Do not promise people that you're going to get them to a 700 credit score when, again, you don't have the expertise, the knowledge. This is why I recommend you hire an outsourcing company that's reliable to do the work for you so you could focus on marketing and sales. And then that company on the back end is doing all the heavy lifting and you look like a superhero because their credit gets fixed. We're not going to talk about that today, but I'm just telling you, it makes your life a lot easier. Number three, pressured or misled by aggressive sales tactics. Hey, it's Black Friday, sign up today, blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, we're going to give you 50% off today. And then if you don't sign up today, then tomorrow the price is going to be more. Hey, it's your last chance. Guys, you sound like a car salesman. I don't care if you're high ticket, you're low ticket, mid ticket, whatever your prices are, you got to understand it that people don't buy price. If you keep pushing the price, let me tell you a secret. That's not so much a secret. You think that you have a price that's low, but there's always somebody that's lower. So if there's always somebody that's lower, what are they buying? They're buying you. They like you, they know you, and they trust you, right? You got to build that rapport. You got to build that relationship. A lot of you are not where you want to be in business because you're so focused on the transaction. You're just worried about making the deal right now. And that's why you're not as successful as you want to be, or you're not coming across as genuine because you're always talking about price. It's a whole nother topic, whole nother teaching. We'll dive into that later. The last one, build without consent. This should be simple, right? But it's not, especially when you have the mentality of, I'm just trying to make some fast money. If somebody gives you their debit card or credit card and they say, hey, charge my card next week, why would you charge it right now? Right? I mean, why? What kind of person are you? Right? I'm a big believer in working with, always operating with good morals, ethics, and values. Right? You wouldn't want somebody to scam your mom, your sister, your loved one, your wife, your spouse. You wouldn't want anybody to do that to them. Why would you do that to somebody? Right? Because that is somebody's mom, somebody's dad, somebody's sibling, somebody's, spouse. Be a good human being, right? Regardless of what or how those clients are or those individuals are, in life, you only have one thing, and that's your name and that's your reputation. And once you mess it up, it's very hard to come back from that. So, first of all, to end this right here, this topic, the TSR rule was made to create or to push scammers away from doing business. So I'm going to leave you with that. Take this information, do what you want. This is what I always teach. This is what I recommend. Always treat people the way they should be treated, which is with good morals, ethics, and values. That's how you should operate your business. The last tip I'm going to give you is extremely important on this particular topic. This is my rule. If someone hires me and they pay me X amount of dollars, regardless of what they pay me, if I don't get the job done, guess what I'm doing? Hey, I'm going to give them a refund. Why? Because I told them that I was going to help them get their credit to where it needed to be so they could buy a house, so they get business funding. Whatever the reason it didn't work out, hey, you know what? I'm not always right. I'm human and we make mistakes. We fall short every day. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do the right thing. Let me go ahead and give you a full refund. It's better to give somebody a refund for $1,000, $1,500 or whatever, or they could try to sue you. You go to court. Now you're paying court fees and now you're out thousands of dollars when then you would have wished that you would have gave them a refund. So choose your battles. Take that information and do as you will. By the way, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm just telling you what I've been through, what I know for a fact. All right. Let's dive into it. Low ticket versus high ticket. Now, this example, okay, for those of you who are taking notes, this is based off of a 5-month cycle. By the way, if it's taking you 9 months, 12 months to fix someone's credit, that's way too long, okay? Our disputing team, we normally fix clients' credit between 3 months and 6 months. So I kind of use this example as a 5-month cycle, okay? 5 rounds of disputes. Now, if you're doing low ticket, let's say, because this is the most popular, is $300 down and about $129 a month. That's what a lot of people are using when it comes to low ticket. Now, high ticket, we can do a one-time payment of $1,500, or we could break it up because not everybody has $1,500. I get that. So you could also break that up over a 90-day period, right? You want to try to collect that money as quickly as possible. But again, for this example's sake, we're going to do 5 rounds. So 5 rounds, 5 rounds of disputes. low ticket, $300, $129 a month versus a high ticket, $1,500. Now, the low ticket revenue, let's break these numbers down. Remember, we're talking about numbers. Numbers don't lie. This is not based off of emotion, okay? And this is not even based off of theory. We're using these numbers because numbers are factual. So the down payment is $300 to start your credit repair program. The monthly payment over the next 5 months for 5 months is $129 a month. That ends up being $645 over a 5-month period. Your total revenue with the $300 down payment is $945. That's without expenses, okay? And that's what we're about to break down in a second. All right, now high ticket revenue over same thing, 5 months, okay? It's a flat fee of $1,500. Again, you have the option of breaking it up over a 90-day period. That's $500 monthly. Total revenue per client is $1,500. Again, without including expenses, right? We still got to pay for software and all that other stuff. All right. So now let's break down the real cost for both. This is, again, whether it's low ticket or high ticket, you're still going to have your cost of doing business. Okay. So let's break this down. Number one, we got outsourcing. Now, not all of you are outsourcing. Now, if you're not outsourcing, you're still probably using certified mail. You might be using LetterStream. You might be using something. So the cost may vary. But if you're outsourcing, you having somebody else do the disputes, this is about the average cost, okay? This is also, let me remind you, at the end of this, I'm going to give you the formula so you can break down your own numbers, okay? So again, outsourcing, 5 rounds of disputes, about $30 per round. That ends up being $150. Now, you also got to factor in your merchant fees every time you run that payment. By the way, stop using Stripe, PayPal, Cash App, or any of that. You're treating your business like a side hustle. You have to make sure that you're using a high-risk merchant account. If you don't know what that is, you need to check out my school community. All right. So again, $19 for the merchant fees. Software, $3 to $5. Why is it only $3 to $5? Because remember, we're breaking this up over 50 clients, okay? If you have 50 active clients, that's what these numbers are based off of. So software is going to be about $3 to $5 per client. Your phone and internet, obviously you have to pay for that. That's about $3 to $5. Your CRM and tools, $3 to $5. Support time value, meaning customer service, all the time that you have to spend hand-holding these clients, right? Because you have to service them. It's not just them signing up and you never talk to them again. I hope you're not doing that. Again, that's $50 to about $100 per client. So total cost ends up being about $229 up to around $284. Again, this is the cost per client for you to service the client, right? All right, let's go. Let's keep going. Now, low ticket profit, because I know this is what you guys are waiting for, is how much money are you going to make? Let's break it down. Revenue, $945. Remember, that's without cost. Now, your cost is anywhere from $229 to $284. So you got to subtract that. So profit per client ends up being about $661 to as high as up to $716 over a 5-month period. Now, keep in mind, this is where it gets tricky because you see how it says monthly equivalent profit. That means that because you are on that your client is on a monthly program, what if they don't stick around for the full 5 months? Then you make less money, right? So assuming that they make their payments on time, you're doing your profit ends up being about $132 to as high as up to about $143 per round per month. Okay, that's what you take home after all of your expenses. All right, you follow me so far? And then another thing is you got to keep in mind, low ticket means more work, more support, lower margins. So let's add something that's not on the screen right now, because this is reality. Right now, if you're a one-man, one-woman show, that's fine. We all started there, right? Including myself. But if you really, really want to grow and scale your business, you got to stop wearing so many hats. You can't just do everything yourself. So when you're only making, $132 a month or even $143 a month per client, that's not enough money to really hire a sales team, hire a customer service team, to help you with this big freaking workload that you have. Because again, remember, we're doing the math based off of 50 clients, right? Imagine 100 clients. You got to hire, there's no way you're going to be able to service this team, right? Service all these clients. You're going to need a team. It's just, it's a no brainer. All right. High ticket profit. Now, revenue is $1,500 per client. The cost is the same. Whether it's your low ticket or high ticket, is the same. The cost is the cost of doing business, right? Then you got your profit per client. Notice that the profit is pretty much double, okay? And you're getting paid a lot faster, which means that you have more money in the bank, which allows you to grow faster, to hire a team, hire outsourcing, hire a marketing team, to run paid ads. If you're not running paid ads now, that's how you build that consistency. Because right now, if you're only relying on referral leads, friends, family members, that one guy at the car dealership, the loan officer, the real estate agent, they're sending you a few leads, but sometimes there's days where you run dry. Imagine if you had a sales team and they had no leads. They're going to end up leaving you, right? Because they're not making no money. You don't have enough leads for them to make money. You don't have enough leads for them to make sales, period, right? So again, profit per client is $1,216 to $1,271. High ticket means higher margins, right? More money, better clients, because it's true. Why better clients? Because when you charge more, those clients take your service seriously. When you advertise and you do low ticket, yeah, you may get some numbers coming in, but not even then. I've sold credit repair at low ticket and I've sold credit repair at $5,000. Okay. I'm just letting you know here. So it's actually much harder to sell it at a low ticket as well. Why? Because when you're talking to someone that has $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 in debt, maybe they have a bankruptcy and a couple repossessions, and you're telling them that you're going to fix all of that for $300 and $129 a month, it's almost too good to be true. They're kind of skeptical because they have thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. So in their mind, psychologically, they feel like, man, this is going to cost me way more than what I was thinking. So they're already expecting a big number. So you have to understand that the numbers have to make sense. Now, again, this is based off of a 50 client reality. Low ticket a profit per client is an average of $690. 50 clients, right? Times $690, that's your profit, equals $34,500 over a 5-month period. That's an average of $6,900 a month. Okay. Now, remember, that is your profit after all of your expenses to run the business. With that being said, I mean, that means you got to pay your rent. You got to pay, things that are not associated with your business. $6,900, I don't know about you, but that's not enough for me to live. It's just not, right? Especially with all the work I got to do to even make that $6,900. You're working harder, not smarter, okay? Then you have your high ticket. So profit per client, again, is average about $1,240, $1,240. Now, if you have 50 clients times the $1,240, that's $62,000, pretty much double, okay? So now you are working smarter, not harder, okay? And that's an average of about $12,000 a month. Now we get into the money. Now we get into the bag. And this is only 50 active clients. Imagine the profit when you have 100 clients or a couple hundred clients. Now it really gets interesting. So the truth about pricing, okay? Now, I'm going to let you read what's on the screen, okay? Because I can read it off for you. But let me tell you, when you offer credit repair services, you're going to have a lot of people that come to you, whether it's friends, family members, people off of social media. They want to fix their credit, and they're hitting you with a bunch of sob stories about, hey, I had to quit my job to take care of my father. I, got laid off. I got into an accident. Whatever their story is, right? And we feel bad for them. And we're very sympathetic, empathetic. Most of us, including me and a lot of you watching this, started your business because you wanted to what? Make money, but you also wanted to help people because you and I both know what it feels like to have bad credit. So we want to help people. And so in return, a lot of times, because you get emotional and you are empathetic, you lower your price so that way you can help them join your credit repair program. But I'm going to tell you that's the worst thing that you can do. Why? For a couple of reasons. Number one, we just broke down the numbers. If you go too low, now you're not even making a profit. You're fixing their credit for free because it's not like you're going to fix their credit in 1 month, right? So it's going to take a couple months. It costs money to fix their credit. And if you don't charge them enough, you're in the red. That means, again, you're not making no money whatsoever. Here's the second reason why you shouldn't lower your price. Those same people that claim that they can't afford your services, even if you're low ticket, those are the same people going out and they're on a Carnival cruise, partying their butts off with the drink package. Those are the same people taking vacations to places that they shouldn't be, that they can't afford. Those are the same people buying rims for $2, $3, $4, $5,000. Those are the same people buying jewelry, knowing damn well that they got rent next month, right? They're making irresponsible decisions with their finances, telling you that they can't afford your services, but meanwhile, they're out partying on the weekend. I mean, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you the truth, right? So do not lower your prices. Also, let me give you a third reason. If you really want to help people, you as a business owner should not have to lower your standards so they can meet you. So excuse me, so you can meet them. You have to keep your standards high. You have to keep your standards up here so that way your clients, right? They change the way that they manage their money. They change their mindset because you could fix their credit. But if they don't change their ways, if they don't change their mindset, guess what? They're going to be right back to square one. Hey, Rob, can you fix my credit again? No, I won't. I mean, I will, but I don't want to. Why? Because we fixed your credit one time. You're supposed to keep it there, right? So again, keep your standards high. That way your clients have to meet you where you are. That way you get a better qualified client. If you keep lowering your prices, and I know this has happened to you because it's happened to me. I've lowered my prices to try to help someone, and man, every time I lowered my prices, those clients are the worst nightmare clients, calling me every week, asking me for an update, and I'm like, man, I should have charged you double, right? So stop lowering your prices. All right. So here is the pricing formula. I'm not going to read all of this, but you can take a screenshot, take a picture of it. Also, another thing that I recommend that'll make your life even easier, take this same exact formula, type this into ChatGPT and ChatGPT. So you could use this as your prompt. Type this into ChatGPT and then have ChatGPT walk you through this, and it'll ask you all of the proper questions so you can enter, the answers, and then it'll give you exactly what your cost is versus what your pricing is. Okay. So this was a very clear, factual using numbers versus emotions to give you guys a head start. And by the way, you should take this formula and use it because some of you watching this don't just offer credit repair. You might have multiple businesses. If you don't know, I don't care if you're selling bottles of water or cans of water, you need to know which your price is per client and what you're selling it for. So if you have multiple businesses, trust me, this is really, really going to help you. All right, last thing. If you want to know more about pricing, if you want a one-on-one, if you want to learn how to sell high ticket sales, if you want to generate more quality leads, more importantly, not just quality leads, but consistent leads, we help you with paid ads on Instagram and Facebook. If you want somebody to take over your disputing because you're like, man, hey, I don't even know what letter to put with what collection, and my clients are getting results, whatever the situation may be, we help with the outsourcing. If you want to learn about what systems are going to be the best to help you scale your business, because and you can't do the same thing at 10,000 to get to 50,000. You're going to need new systems, new workflows, automations, all of that. We also have live training. So every single Tuesday, this is free. So we have live training every single Tuesday. All you got to do is tap into the Skool community. I wrote it right there on the top. It's skool.com/Rob the Credit Guy. And guys, if you have any questions, hit me up, drop a comment if you felt like this video really shined a light on low ticket versus high ticket. Because I know a lot of you watching this, if you watched it all the way to the end, it's absolutely going to change your mind and help you make more money. And that's my #1 goal. Rob the Credit Guy, catch me on Skool. Let's go.